Hello everyone, and welcome you all to the first chapter of the Python Django tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 1, where I'll be giving you guys an introduction to Django. Okay, so we will be talking about this particular framework uh, and what all we're gonna learn throughout this whole tutorial, and each and everything we'll try to learn in detail. Okay, so let's not waste much time, and let me just give you guys a small brief about each and everything that you're going to learn here in this particular tutorial. So Python Django, an introduction to Django for beginners. So this particular presentation will be providing a beginner-friendly overview of the Python Django framework. And here we will basically be covering the core concepts and also about the setup. Okay, like how you can start your first Django file. Okay, how you can just start or make your first website. Okay, and also how to open up a web page over here and a lot of things. Okay, so first off, I will be telling you guys about the very basics that you guys should know when you're starting to work with Django. Okay, so first of all, I will be giving you guys an introduction to the Django framework. Okay, so Django is basically a high level Python web framework that basically encourages rapid development, clean, pragmatic design. Okay, so we have to understand that Django is a framework. Okay, and it is a high level Python web framework which actually encourages for that particular site to develop, and there is high development and it is quite clean, and you can actually put on pragmatic design. Okay, so with Django, developers can actually build robust web applications efficiently by leveraging built-in features such as ORM, authentication system, and admin interface. Okay, so if you see over here, so many developers, they do usually use Django for backend and also for front end web application development. Okay, because it actually saves a lot of your time. And in this Django framework, we need to know that it is very efficient for us to work using this particular framework. Okay, because already they do have such amazing built-in features, we can actually use it inside of our web application. Okay, like I don't have to particularly go and code for that thing, because inside the Django framework I already do have those features, which are as authentication system, which is very advanced. We do have an ORM, which we will learn what are these, what is a ORM in the later stages of our class. And also they do have some stunning admin interface as well, which we can use inside our web application. Okay, and also it follows the model template views architectural pattern. Okay, so we need to make sure that we know that they basically follow the model template views in architectural pattern, and also promotes the don't repeat yourself philosophy. Okay, so over here, like they actually follow this. Okay, like they basically follow that you don't have to repeat yourself again and again for the same code. Okay, so they actually make your work a lot easier when you're trying to actually develop a web application. Okay, so now let's learn about setting up the development environment. Okay, like if you're developing a particular web application, so for that there are certain things that you need to do over here. Okay, and I'll just give you guys a small brief that what are the things that you need to do. But in our next class we are going to learn about this in depth. Okay, basically we are going to see that how you can set up, how you can install Django if you don't have Python, how you can download a Python as well. Okay, so to get started with Django, it is very crucial that you set up a Python development environment. Okay, so you need to first install Python and pip. Then you need to create a virtual environment using venv. Okay, so all this we are going to learn in our class, but I'm just saying you that you guys just get a basic idea. Okay, so first you need to install Python, then you have to install Django as well using pip install. Okay, then you have to basically if you do want IDE, which is an integrated development environment where you can basically code. Let's say you can just code in a notepad also, or in a simple worksheet as well. But what is an integrated development environment? Let's say this is a place where if you make any kind of mistake inside your code, it will point out what was the mistake. And there also you do have that function where you can see and run your code, that is your code running or not. And IDE can be used for a different programming language. You can use it for Python, you can use it for PHP, you can use it for JavaScript and a lot other languages. Okay, so after that, you need to activate the virtual environment and install Django using pip. Okay, as you guys can see here also, it says that you need to install Django using pip install. Okay, so after installation, you need to ensure that your environment is correctly configured by running a simple command like Django slash admin start project my project. Like you can just put any name, you don't have to exactly put my project, but make sure that you refrain from other word which are like pip or which is like flask. Okay, don't use those things. Okay, because it will then understand that you are trying to give them a command. Okay, so we need to make sure of that, but maybe it's a bit confusing at this moment right now for you all. If you have not, if you don't have any idea about coding, or this is the first time that you are planning to learn coding, then also you can actually join this particular class, because we will be learning from the very beginning. Okay, I will show you how to install, I will show you how to use it, and how to do your first web application, like how you can build it. Okay, and also, you need to make sure that this particular project will generate the structure of a new Django project for you. Okay, so once you're done with these particular steps, you will see that you are able to generate the structure of a new Django project. And now let's go to the next page where they're saying creating your first Django project. So to create your first Django project, you need to navigate to the terminal and ensure that your virtual environment is activated. Okay, so I will show you how to activate your virtual environment. Then I have already talked that you need to use the command, which is Django admin start project. Then you can name your project as you like. Okay, so to generate a new project directory, and it will create essential files such as settings.py, urls.py, wsgi.py, which are the core components of your Django application. Okay, so once I create a Django application in my IDE, I'll be showing you guys and telling you guys what all these things mean and what all of this Python file actually saves inside them, or what they have inside them that will help you create a stunning web application. Okay, and once the setup is done, you can actually run python manage.py run server to basically start the development server and actually access your application in a web browser. Okay, so this is just an example. As you guys can see, this is the type of web page they'll be showing you, and once you click, I'll show you how your first code should basically look like. Okay, and now we are going to understand about few of the core concepts that we are going to learn in this whole tutorial. So first we need to understand about the Django models. Okay, so Django models are Python classes that define the structure of your database. Okay, let's say you do have a web application, and inside your web application you also have the database, which is actually provided by the Django. Okay, so that's there, and each model basically corresponds to a table in the database which class attributes as field. And Django also uses an object rational mapping system. Okay, so we were talking just before few slides about the ORM. So the full form of ORM you guys can see over here. But what is object rational mapping? Okay, so we are going to learn about it in the later stages. I'll be giving you guys some example and I will try to make it very easy. But at start, you just need to understand that what all we are going to learn. Okay, you don't have to just go in depth and try to understand each and everything at once. Okay, so to like once they use this object rational mapping system, it basically allow developers to interact with the database records as Python objects. Okay, and to create a model, first you need to define class in the models file and then of your app, and you should use fields like char field, integer field to define the data types, and migrations are then created and applied to sync database changes. Okay, so now the next topic is working with views and templates. Okay, so views in Django are responsible for processing any request and also returning the responses. Let's say in your Django, you have given a request. Let's say you want to add something inside your web page or you want to add a button, so that particular process where you request for that, and then by understanding your request, they return a response according to that. That same process or this simple process is known as views in Django. Okay, so they can basically retrieve data from models and basically pass it to templates for rendering. A view function is simply a Python function that receives a web request and also it returns a web response. Okay, and templates use Django's templating language and dynamically generate HTML, allowing you to display data to users. Combining views and templates effectively allows you to create some interactive web pages. Okay, so there are different templates that we use in Django. Okay, and also you can actually dynamically generate HTML, which will actually allow you to display data to other users. Okay, and once you combine views and templates, it will actually give you some interactive web pages that you want to create. Okay, once you combine both of them or once you let them work effectively with one another. So that's about it. And now the next thing we are going to draw is about URL routing and the navigation. So URL routing is Django is managed via the project urls.py file, okay, where you map URL patterns to your views. Each pattern can direct to a specific view function based on a URL requested. So in that case, you need to use the path function from Django URLs module to define these mappings. And what it does, like what is the use of all of this? So Django's URL module basically helps you to define this mapping and allows for clean and organized routing, okay, which actually enables the users to navigate the application seamlessly. And it's essential to design a user-friendly URL structure to enhance usability. Okay, so you need to create such a user-friendly URL structure that people would love to use your application. Okay, that you increase the usability. The more easy it is to use, the more people will tend to use it. Okay, so that was about it. And for conclusions, Django simplifies web development by providing a robust framework that follows best practices. So understanding the core components such as models, views, and URL routing is crucial for building some efficient applications. Okay. And this tutorial will set the foundation for further exploration into advanced topics like authentication, RESTful APIs, and also about deployment. So yeah, I hope you guys do have understood this particular class on how to start working, what are the things that we're going to learn over here. And now in the next chapter, we are going to learn that how you can install Django and also how you can set up your environment for this framework. So I hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye everyone.